morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were flat, Nasdaq was down about 0.06%, Dow was up, the job data was not up to the mark. European markets too were down anywhere from 0.15% to almost about 1%. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is up almost about 0.42% and Hang Seng is down about 0.48%. SGX Nifty is suggesting that we are going to open flattish, about 5 to 6 points higher. In terms of flows, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 60 crore. In the index futures, they were sellers to the tune of about 164 crore, and the domestic institutions were buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 563 crore. Overall market was okay on Friday. There was a bit of a stability, but the momentum part was clearly missing. So it remains to be seen whether we are able to consolidate around current levels and see any kind of an uptick, or it's going to be a bit of a grind around current levels. On that note, let me invite our F&O expert to take you through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the derivative side.
Good morning friends, we will give an analysis on derivatives. In Friday's trading session was quite a soft trading session, where unlike other Fridays where we do see a lot of volatility in the Friday's trading session. However, this Friday was quite unique and has been on the softer side. Initially, we have seen some kind of flattish opening by the market despite mixed views from the international markets, and later on we have seen in the first couple of hours of trade Nifty making an intraday high but was not able to cross 8,300, and around 8,300 we have seen some kind of selling pressure, and then throughout the day it traded in a narrow range of 10 to 20 odd points, and at the end of the trading session we have seen a minor gain of around 0.28% to be precise, at 8261.20. On the open interest, not much of build-up was observed by market participants in yesterday's trade, and Nifty also not much of build-up was seen. There was very minor build-up of 0.09% was seen in Friday's trade. That is around 14,000 shares were added in open interest. However, the important part was the cost of carry. At higher levels, we are seeing some kind of selling pressure in Nifty, and the cost of carry have turned to negative. That is, Nifty have turned into discount of around 1.5 odd points compared to 13 points premium, and the cost of carry is at 0.5% negative. Put call ratio, however, have inched higher due to the some minor gain which was seen in Nifty in Friday's trade. Put call ratio inched higher from 0.95 to 0.96 odd levels, and the volatility index dipped from 20.70 to 19.82 levels, and it saw a decrease of around 4.5 odd percentage in Friday's trading session. On the options activity, not much of build-up was observed in index options. Since put call ratio went up, of course, put option has seen a good amount of build-up in open interest in yesterday's trade, in Friday's trade. 8,100 and 8,200 has seen a build-up of around 9 odd percentage respectively. While the call option, 8,400 call option has seen the highest build-up in Friday's trading session of only 1.5 odd percentage. However, deep out of the money put option continues to see significant amount of build-up, that is 7,900, 7,800, continues to see good amount of activity, indicating people are buying deep out of the money put option in order to hedge their long positions in market. However, for the highest in terms of open interest, 8,500 call option continues to remain highest in terms of open interest, followed by 8,000 put option, which also continues to be highest in terms of open interest. There is only one securities in blind period for today's trade, that is Century Textile. On FIS terms, they continue to be net sellers in index futures after seeing sharp short positions in Thursday's trading session. In Friday's trading session also, they have formed some amount of short positions. They were net sellers in index futures of around 131 odd crores, and the open interest of FIS went up by around 2 odd percentage. Index options, they were net buyers of 738 odd crores. Stock futures, they were net buyers of 125 crores, and stock options, they were net buyers of 39 crores. 5 days we have strengths at 8250 with a lower range at 8200 and a higher range at 8400. SGX Nifty is trading positive by around 5 odd points, indicating some kind of flattish to positive opening can be expected in today's trade, and the level of 8,300 would be quite crucial in today's trade. Unless and until it is not broken, we might see selling pressure at higher levels at every high. SGX Nifty is trading at 5 points positive at 273. That concludes from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, let me take you to Sharekhan pre-market action, starting with trading ideas. A long call on Dr. Reddy's, as the company has launched a new drug, Somazina in India, which is licensed from Citicoline. So one can go long on Dr. Reddy with a stop loss of 3439 and a target of about 3575 to about 3625. Tata Coffee reported extremely good set of numbers. Their net profit grew almost about 2.43 times. So one can go long on Tata Coffee with a stop loss of 88.2 and a target of about 93 to about 95. Power Grid, a short call, as the company will lose central transmission utility status, and the transmission unit is going to be a separate entity. So one gets short Power Grid with a stop loss of 142 and a target of about 135 to about 133. In other news and developments, Eros International Media has announced the launch of its first ever Sino-Indian film in collaboration with Chinese state-owned production company CFC. Tata Motors has signed a distribution and supply technology license agreement for commercial vehicles with Vietnam-based TMT Motors, and due to strike, Trompton Green is bleeding by about 70 crore in Nasik. Petrol prices and diesel prices will increase on Friday by about 3.13 and about 2.71 meters. That's a bit of a positive for companies like oil marketing companies, because there is going to be an improvement in the margin. The CNG prices too have been increased by about 45 paise in this NCR region. Also, global funds which are focused on the emerging market equities have reduced their exposure to India by a little over about 0.5% over the first quarter. Bharti Airtel has received a financing commitment of up to 2.5 billion from China Development and Industrial Commercial Bank of China. Exports were down about 14% in April, fifth straight monthly fall. Imports for the month stood at about 33.04 billion, 7.5% low. The overall trade deficit, however, has come in at about $11 billion, which is the lowest that we've seen recently. And Federal Bank Board has decided to issue bonus shares in the ratio of about 1:1. ONGC has stocked some oil in Bombay High, and Arcom is looking at Systema's Indian operations in an oil share deal. For Sun TV Network, the Home Ministry may not renew radio license, which is potentially negative for them. Infosys is going to set up about $120 million of development center in China, and Tata Steel nears UK plants sale. Banks which are currently finding it difficult to recover money from promoters of willful defaulters or other borrowers might get some relief if the Benami Transactions Amendment Act, which is recently tabled in Parliament, if that is enacted. This might allow lenders to stake claim to Benami properties of defaulters. That's a positive for the PSU banking space. Videocon mobile phones, which is a part of the Videocon group, is in the process of setting up mobile handsets manufacturing plants in Hyderabad, and Coal India to invest about $25 billion to reach about 1 billion ton of coal output. JSW Cement, which is planning to increase its cement capacity to about 20 million tons per annum in the next 2 to 3 years, and going to fall in the net interest income. The Dena Bank's net profit fell by almost about 70%, and Torrent Pharma reported weak set of numbers. Their net profit dropped about 46.72%. So expect some negative reaction both in Dena Bank and in Torrent Pharma in today's market. The companies that will be announcing numbers today: Asian Paint, we're looking at a net profit of about 378 crore. Companies with positive and negative bias. Positive bias are Lupin, UBL and State Bank. Negative bias is Allahabad Bank and Havells. Stocks for investment that we like at this point of time are L&T, Aditya Birla Nuvo, Tata Motors, DVR, Infosys and Ultratech. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.